Beneath the surface of ancient history lies a hidden truth that challenges everything. Today, we uncover a powerful mystery in biblical archaeology, the surprising story behind the legendary 12 tribes and the secrets that time tried to bury. In ancient history, the story begins with 12 symbolic founders, figures who shaped the identity of an entire people. For centuries, this powerful origin myth has guided faith, inspired tradition, and defined what many believe to be the true roots of the lost tribes. But behind these legendary beginnings may lie a far more complex history than we ever imagined. These 12 emblems represent far more than ancient symbols. They reflect identity, territory, and the legendary structure of the lost tribes. But when historians compare these symbols to the archaeological record, a deeper ancient mystery emerges, suggesting the 12 tribe system may not have been as fixed or unified as tradition teaches. This early map of ancient Israel reveals a land still taking shape, long before the tribes were unified into a perfect 12. As biblical archaeology and ancient history uncover new details, we see a region made of shifting clans and evolving identities, challenging the traditional story we thought we understood. In this ancient poem, the Song of Deborah calls out the tribes who stood together and the ones who were never mentioned. For biblical archaeology and ancient history, this moment reveals something quietly heartbreaking. Early Israel wasn't a unified 12. Instead, it was a fragile network of clans, scattered and uncertain, long before the legend of the lost tribes took shape. As we trace the earliest records, entire tribes quietly fade from the story, never appearing when we expect them most. In biblical archaeology, this absence raises a powerful ancient mystery, suggesting that the legendary 12 tribes were far from complete. Early Israel was fragmented, with identities lost long before history tried to piece them together. In the dust of these archaeological dig sites, biblical archaeology uncovers a quiet truth that challenges centuries of belief. Instead of a sweeping conquest described in ancient stories, we find the remains of Canaanite villages, ordinary people living ordinary lives. Ancient history suggests early Israel rose slowly from within this world, not as a formed nation of 12 tribes, but as scattered communities searching for identity. A reminder that the past is often far more human and far more fragile than legend. In these quiet ruins, biblical archaeology reveals a striking truth. The destruction described in ancient stories never appears in the ground beneath our feet. No burned cities, no shattered walls, only silence. Ancient history suggests that early Israel did not conquer this land through a single dramatic invasion, but emerged slowly from the very people already living here. A reminder that sometimes the stories we inherit speak louder than the evidence they leave behind. In this ancient inscription, Biblical archaeology finds one of the earliest references to a people called Israel, not a kingdom, not a united nation of 12 tribes, but a scattered community living in the highlands. Ancient history shows a fragile identity just beginning to form. And in this single carved line, we glimpse a quiet truth. The origins of Israel were far more humble and far more uncertain than tradition ever imagined. In these simple highland villages, biblical archaeology reveals the true beginnings of early Israel. Not a mighty nation of 12 tribes, but small Canaanite communities slowly shaping a new identity. Ancient history shows families farming, building, and surviving, unaware they would one day become the foundation of a legendary people. A quiet reminder that great stories often rise from the most ordinary lives. In ancient history, the united people divide into two rival kingdoms, the North and the South. Biblical archaeology reveals a time of tension, fractured identity, and competing beliefs. What was once imagined as a single nation of 12 tribes becomes a story of separation, struggle, and lost unity. A turning point that shapes every mystery that follows. When the Northern Kingdom collapses, entire communities are forced from their homes, scattered across distant lands. Biblical archaeology calls this moment the beginning of the lost tribes, a tragic turning point in ancient history. Families disappear from the record, identities fade, and a once living culture becomes a haunting mystery the world has tried to solve ever since. In the shadow of the Babylonian exile, survivors carry only their memories and fading traditions. Biblical archaeology shows a people stripped of land, identity, and certainty. Yet in this sorrow, something powerful begins, a longing for unity and a desperate hope to rebuild a story that could hold their scattered history together. From scattered memories and broken histories, a powerful national myth begins to form. Biblical archaeology suggests this story of 12 tribes wasn't born in the distant past, but shaped later as a way to restore identity and unity. Through ancient symbols and shared beliefs, a fractured people found a narrative strong enough to hold them together. Faith offers meaning, purpose, and identity, while history reveals the complex journey that shaped a people. Biblical archaeology shows that both perspectives matter. The story of the 12 tribes lives between these two worlds, a place where ancient mystery, belief, and historical truth meet, shaping how generations understand their past. Even through loss, exile, and forgotten histories, the story continues. What began as scattered tribes and ancient mysteries has become a symbol of resilience and identity. As biblical archaeology uncovers the past, hope carries the story forward, reminding us that every ending is also a beginning.